All right, guys, welcome back to Kentucky Basketball Access. My name is Michael Spann, and this is the second, inaugural drop. First of all, I just want to say I really appreciate those of you all who are tuning in. I've done a YouTube channel before, and I'm starting it from the bare bones, so to speak, and seeing people join and engage. And the thing about Kentucky basketball, they call it Big Blue Nation because it really does it permeates the whole globe. It's crazy to see when you travel different places and you see Kentucky fans everywhere. And so I really appreciate it. Spread the word, subscribe, please. I have some exciting news. I have a good friend of mine this dude knows basketball, okay? He is in many ways, a savant when it comes to just being able to break down games. He's a diehard UK fan, but he's not someone who's just passionate without knowledge. Zeal without knowledge is not a good thing, right? If you have zeal and knowledge, that's a potent combination. And this guy's got a potent combination, so he'll be joining me maybe the next episode. We'll see. He's kind of under the weather right now. He would have joined today, but so I'll leave you in suspense, and I'll drop the name likely the next time. So we got a big game coming up, okay? Look, we got to digest. Look, it's tough for me sometimes as a UK fan when we have a disappointing loss like Florida to be able to get up and get amped for this Tennessee game. Look, it's a huge game. Look, teams are losing. Wisconsin, the sixth ranked team in the country, just lost to Nebraska recently. Tennessee, the fifth ranked team, just lost to South Carolina at home. Okay, look, teams are losing in the top 10, right? It's college basketball right now, the parity, as I mentioned in the last video, has changed the landscape, okay? COVID, the guys who are 24, 25 who are still playing. You have, NIL deals. It's just a totally different landscape than it was even 5 years ago, okay? So just take that into account, all right? Pump the brakes on any hysteria. One thing I want to say before I get started, as fans, as Kentucky fans, this is important. Look, there's some people who allow their zeal and their passion to take them off the cliff. We have social media now, so people will, hurl insults at players, at Cal. Look, in the offseason, I think it's fair to be able to assess and respectfully critique. Not to say we can't critique during the regular season, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, we want them to win. We want them to be playing the best they possibly can play. And I can tell you this unequivocally. If we as fans allow ourselves to just lose it and begin hurling insults and invectives at the players that we cheer for and so desperately want to play well and succeed, look, these guys are young dudes, okay? So encourage, support, and positive vibes, man. So we need positive vibes. All right. So without further ado, and I'll talk about Adu here in a second. Adu Thiero and a Jonas Adu, all right, for Tennessee, which he's going to be a guy in Tennessee that we're going to have to, pay attention to. All right, so here we go. We got matchups. Okay, so Tennessee, they bring physicality to the game, all right? Tennessee is going to, and that's going to be the MO against us this year, okay? South Carolina brought physicality. Arkansas brought physicality. That took us back on our heels. Mike Tyson had a famous quote that said, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's true. We can have a plan. We have to respond to physicality. They're going to bring physicality tomorrow. And their number one player, guys, and I'm really not totally sure how you pronounce his last name. It's Dalton Connect or Necht, all right? Dalton Connect or Necht. Anyway, so it's kind of like Kamala Harris. Is it Kamala or Kamala? I don't know. All right. I'm not going to bring politics in that. You can watch my other YouTube channel if you want politics. All right. Anyway, so important matchups for tomorrow. So Dalton Connect. Essential that we contain him. All right, just contain him. Look, if he scores 20, if he drops 20, he's averaging 20.1 points per game. If we can just contain him, if he gets to 20, but it takes him 20 shots to get there, that's great. All right, we just need to contain him. And I'm thinking really, if Adu can go, I think Adu Thiero is the best matchup. Adu's 6'8", he's athletic, he's physical. I think he's got a matchup with Dalton Connect. All right, I think that's going to be important. They also have a guy named Jonas Adu. I think it's Adu actually. The dude is a pretty big brute. He's physical. I think he was one of the guys. No, it wasn't him, but he did play Duke last year, which I was actually really glad that Tennessee did beat Duke. The second best thing to UK winning is Duke losing. So I was really glad. But Tennessee brought that physicality to Duke, and Duke crumbled. And so that's their MO, that's their approach. And so I think tomorrow we really got to have Onyenso has to really come to battle Adu. This guy, he's averaging about 7.5 rebounds per game. I think he's a lefty. He's got some finesse, so I think that matchup will be key tomorrow. Zakai Ziegler is another guy. He's their point guard. He's been there for 3 or 4 years. Small guy, but super fast, really good in transition. Look, this is going to be important tomorrow. This is going to be the second key matchup, all right? Adu will be a matchup that I think we'll be fine with. I really do. Connect, and then Zakai Ziegler. I think those two guys, I'm going to give you a wild card here in a second, 2 wild cards for Tennessee. Those 2 guys make Tennessee go. They're kind of the engine that really helps and accelerates Tennessee's success. We have to neutralize Zakai Ziegler, all right? He is a one-man fast break. He's super, he's really cerebral with the basketball. I think he's either leading the SEC in assists, or he's one of the top SEC assist getters. 5 assists per game, which, in college basketball, getting 5 assists per game is good. It's very solid. So we're going to have our guys step up. I think DJ is going to be key, checking him tomorrow. I think being active, even putting someone who's longer on him, maybe even Adu Thiero, kind of creating some length. I think Cal's going to probably put several different guys on Zakai Ziegler just to slow him down. It's going to be key for us to have the attrition tomorrow and to really be able to throw different guys on him. Because I think if those 2 guys go off, if Knecht and Zakai Ziegler go off, I think it's going to be very difficult to win the game tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you why we're going to win here in a second. Okay, 2 wild cards for Tennessee. You have Vescovi. The guy's been there. Dude, he's probably at least 30 years old. I mean, he looks like he kind of reminds me of like an Argentinian, or like Argentinian. Is Argentina Argentinian? A dude from Argentina. Put it that way. Kind of looks like a guy that'd be like in one of those Argentina soap operas, or a Brazilian soap opera. Just kind of has that type of appeal. And you know what? He's actually having a down year. I think he's averaging less than 8 points per game, but I'm telling you, he can go off. That dude can get hot from the perimeter. So he's a wild card tomorrow. I think really if we allow him to go off and he starts hitting threes and he gets some confidence, just got to check him. Got to be active on the 3-point line with him, hands up. As Mark Jackson said, hands down, man down. All right, keep those hands up. Close out, hands high, chopping the feet, all right? Another wild card is, I'm going to make sure I say his name right, Jemai Mashak. The dude is just a really good defender. He can create havoc. I think those 2 guys are wild cards, and I think we have to just kind of be cautious that Jemai Mashak is one of those dudes who, he reminds me of guys I would play that did a really good job of getting underneath your skin, okay? We got to make sure we respond appropriately to him. And I think, again, keep our emotions in check. Tennessee does a really good job of getting underneath the opponent's skin, talking a lot of trash, maintain our composure. And I think tomorrow what you're going to see is, I think our guys are pretty docile, and I say that in a good way. They're not too high, not too low. I think they're kind of even keel, which is good. But Tennessee will try to impose their will physically. They will try to create some instability, especially with a young team. So I think making sure we're keeping our composure and then feeding off the energy at Rupp, okay? But we'll get to what we need to do here in a second, okay? So those are the matchups. Again, I didn't want to go too in-depth here. Just kind of wanted to mention a few players. And they have some other ones too. Josiah James is a quality guy. He can get points up. He's been there for a while. I think he's a borderline NBA prospect. So they've got dudes, all right? I mean, they've got dudes, and we got to come to play, which I absolutely think we will tomorrow. All right, so what do we need to do? I think transition. We've got to get the ball out in transition. We need 5 Reed Shepherds on the court who are passing the ball like he does. And he's not perfect, but one of the things he does that is like the quintessential fast break is getting the ball up, okay? And I think we really focus on that tomorrow, getting the ball out of the hoop if they on a make, on a miss, boxing out, getting the ball and then going. We are at our best when we're in transition. We've got to have transition buckets tomorrow. We can't end the game with like 10 points in transition. I think if we can be like in the 30-point range in transition points, I think we will win the game. We will absolutely win the game if we can be close to that 30-point. When I mean transition, I mean we're getting the ball and we're going. We're not running a half-court set. And so I think we can absolutely do that. But I say 20 to 30 point. I say 25 to 30 point. How about that? 25 to 30 point transition points. I think we absolutely win the basketball game. also have to eliminate the long twos. It was like Rick Pitino did a really good job of talking. It was like inexplicable why dudes would take long twos. And we did that last game. Antonio did that, Trey did that, and it was kind of driving me crazy. I'm like, dude, do not take long twos. That's low percentage. The analytics suggest that. Take either a 3, mid-range 15-footer, 3-point liner in, at the elbow, or a layup, or dish it, all right? Eliminate the long twos, okay? No more of that, all right? Trey, and they're the older guys, so it's kind of inexplicable why they're the ones who do it the most. We have to contain Necht. I talked about that, man. Just contain him. If he gets 20 off 20 shots, fine, all right? But he can't get going and just dominate the game and drop 30s. And Rupp Arena is a place where dudes have, in the past, dropped just crazy amount of points. They feed off the energy, too. They love coming into Rupp Arena as the villain and performing well. Contain Necht, okay? Match their physicality. We talked about that. We need to match what they're doing, okay? I think we can match their physicality and we don't allow them to impose their will. And on the flip side, we make them foul us, all right? So I think if we can get into the foul, this is key. I think tomorrow, if we win the free throw battle, that's going to be key. I think we will because I think they're going to be fouling. But we got to play through their contact. We can't avoid the contact. We got to play through it. And that's going to be important for us, okay? Matching their physicality. Okay, finally. Like Reeves, Rob, and Reed. The triple R's, man. Come on. Reeves, Rob, and Reed. Those guys got to let it fly confidently, taking good shots. You don't have to tell Reeves and Rob to let it fly. They're going to do that. Reeves got to continue to hunt his shot. Those guys need to be able to hit threes. I think if between those three guys, if we can get, I'm going to say, if we can get 8 threes between those three guys, 8, I think we're good. I think if those three guys can get 8, because then I think if those guys get 8, you may get 1 or 2 from DJ, you may get 1 from Trey, you may get 1 from Aaron or Adu. I think if those three guys can get 8 to 9 threes, put it that way, we got it, all right? But they need to take good threes, but hunt their shots, man. We have to take threes rather than long twos, rather than horrible contested layups. 3-point shots have been really the key catalyst in us being one of the best offensive teams in the nation, okay? So, again, I could list more keys than that, but those right there, let me just mention one more thing. This goes without saying. Contain the penetration. Just contain it. You're not going to be perfect. Because Zakai Ziegler will get in the paint. He is shifty, he's quick, he's explosive, he's going to get there, but just contain, just neutralize the best we can, all right? My prediction, okay, here's my prediction. I'm going Kentucky 91, Tennessee 87. And here, at the end of the day, here's what I think is going to happen, all right? We're hungry. This Kentucky team, guys, I'm telling you, man, they are hungry. And it's easy for us to kind of jump off the bandwagon because we've had some disappointing losses. And it looks like, okay, is this trending in some similar patterns in the last several years? I get that, okay, I really do. Think these guys are hungry. And a lot of teams are losing, as I said earlier on in this video, okay? So I think that tomorrow, the Rupp Arena is going to be electric. It's going to be on fire. There's going to be a huge day in college basketball. There's going to be a lot of mojo that we're going to have. And I think guys are going to rise to the occasion. I think you see guys like DJ Wagner, Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, even the older guys like Reeves this year and Trey Mitchell. I could list some others too. I think those guys, man, they want it. You can tell these dudes want it. And you have guys who actually want it and have a will to win, even if there's been some adversity. And I think that to me, I think they're resilient and I think they're going to bounce back. And I think if we can just, and I mentioned this in the last video, guys, and here's a good litmus test for us as we move forward. If we can string 4 wins together, because 4 wins in the NCAA tournament will take you to the Final Four, then you get to the Final Four, anything can happen. So that is a better litmus test than reading into all these analytics, although that's important, I think. Don't get me wrong. So 91-87, Kentucky's going to take down Tennessee. I'm excited. Tune into the game tomorrow. The next drop, I'll likely have my new co-host with me. We'll see if he's on the up and up. But I want to let you know, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. It means a lot. Spread the word, subscribe, and let's make this thing happen tomorrow. Big Blue Nation at its finest. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye.